Welcome back to My Happy Place. I'm Mr. Hannah.
And I'm Miss Charity.
And we're here to bring you a little bit of happiness and sunshine. All right, let's go over our song that we learned about how God made everything. And it's called All Things Bright and Beautiful. And hopefully you guys have it down by now. I think we do a little bit. So let's start and remember our actions of a little flower. Charity, what's your favorite flower?
Sunflowers.
Ooh, sunflowers are so pretty. Bright and happy.
Yes, very
I like tulips, especially around this time of year. So we live in Washington, D.C., and they plant tulips all around the Capitol. Purple and white and yellow and red. They're so beautiful.
So beautiful.
I love tulips. All right, let's start. Ready? Each little flower that opens, each little bird that sings. God made their glowing colors, He made their tiny wings. Yes, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, and all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. Let's try it one more time, okay? How are you guys doing out there? Do you guys like this song still, or is it getting old? I still like it. This is one of my favorite songs. So let's start again. Ready? Each little flower that opens, each little bird that sings. God made their glowing colors, He made their tiny wings. Yes, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, and all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. Good job, guys.
Let's go over our memory verse now.
All right, so we've been going over Genesis 1:1. Today we're going to add verse number 2 in. And remember, we have 3 more days until we get to say it to our mom and dad and get something special in the mail from us. So let us know if you can say it. All right, ready? Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So what's our next part of our verse, Charity?
Genesis 1:2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
All right, so the earth was without form, so we're taking away the form, and we're taking away, and it was void, so we're taking away everything, and then darkness was upon the face of the deep. So you guys, it's a pretty simple action, so you think you can do it with us? All right, Genesis 1:2. Wait, am I doing it backwards? 1:2 for the camera. Okay, let's try it again. Ready? Genesis 1:2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Very good. I got a little confused in there, so I think we need to try it again.
Let's go.
All right, ready? Genesis 1:2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. I really like doing that because it's really dramatic. Darkness. All right, let's try it from the top, and we're going to slow it down so we can say Genesis 1:1 and 2 together. Ready?
And it starts in the beginning.
All right, ready? Genesis 1:1 and 2. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Should we try it again?
I think so.
All right, ready? Genesis 1:1 and 2. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Very good. I really enjoyed that. Good job.
So yesterday we learned about Cain and Abel, and today we're going to learn about a man named Noah. And this happened several years after Cain and Abel. And as time passed, God looked at the world and He was very unhappy because people were disobeying Him. They weren't trying to follow God. They didn't love God. They didn't obey God. They were being very bad. And it made God really sad. And He decided that He was going to send a flood to the earth. Joe, what's a flood?
A flood is when lots of water comes either from the sky or from a river or ocean and covers a certain part of land, covering houses, roads, or all kinds of things like that.
And this flood that God was going to send was going to cover the mountains, the super tall ones. Like, what's the tallest mountain?
Mount Everest?
Mount Everest. It covered that mountain.
Oh my goodness.
Completely. So it was just a ball of water. But you know what? God saved one man. His name was Noah.
Why did he save Noah?
Because Noah still obeyed and loved God. So one day God said to Noah, I am going to destroy the earth with a flood, but I want you to build a big boat or an ark. Then take 2 of every living creature, birds and animals, and they're going to come into the ark. So it's going to be really, really big for all the animals to live in it and his family. And God allowed 2 lions.
We got some lions.
And elephants. And what else do we have? Giraffes.
Got some giraffes. We have 2 giraffes.
Ooh.
They're kind of small.
And zebras.
Stand up. We got 2 zebras.
And we've got gorillas. Ooh, gorillas are kind of scary. What else do we have?
We only have 1 camel.
1 camel. But if you think of these animals, they're so huge. So that means the ark had to be really, really big to fit all of these animals in it. And Noah did as God told him to. And it took a really, really long time to build a giant ark. And you know what? People made fun of him. And they said, Noah, what are you doing this for?
It's like, you crazy old man.
And he said, Noah preached to the people and he said, there's gonna be rain coming down from heaven and everything's gonna be destroyed. You need to turn from your ways and turn to God. And you know what they did?
They laughed at him.
Yep. And they didn't obey God.
But did that stop Noah?
Nope, he kept on building. And after he finished building the ark, him and his family and all of the animals went into the ark and God shut the door. And you know what? They sat there. And sat there. And no rain came for 7 whole days. But on the 7th day, the rain started falling down from heaven and it rained for 40 days and 40 nights.
Oh, wow.
That's longer than a month. And water covered the whole world, but Noah's big boat floated on top of the flood waters. At last, the rain stopped. The water began to go down. Noah sent out a dove to see if any dry land had appeared. Do we have a dove?
We don't have a dove.
The dove returned with an olive branch in her beak, so Noah knew that they would soon be able to leave the ark. When the ark came to rest on top of a mountain, God told Noah that he would now take his family off the big boat. So Noah and his family walked onto the dry land with all the animals and birds following them.
Can you imagine after being in the big boat for 40 days and 40 nights, plus the 7 days before that, and then plus the time that it took for all the waters to go down? Man, you gotta be so happy that you get to walk on dry land again. Man, that must have been awesome.
So Noah made an altar and worshiped God. That was the first thing he did after he got off the boat. He worshiped God and thanked him for keeping him and his family safe.
So God was so happy with Noah and his obedience and how Noah showed God how much he loved him by doing exactly what God said, that God put a rainbow in the sky that was a symbol of his love for Noah and his family, and that he would never again destroy the whole world with a flood like that, ever again. So every time you see a rainbow, it's a symbol of God's promise and a sign of his love for people who obey him and follow what he says.
Now we're gonna sing a song called Deep and Wide because it kind of goes with the flood, deep and wide. But this is actually talking about God's love for us. It's so deep and so wide that we can't even measure God's love. We don't know how deep and we don't know how wide it is. It's so big. So Joe, let's sing the song.
Ready? You try to do this. Really simple actions. It's like this
Deep
and like
wide.
this. All right, ready? Deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide. Deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide. Wide and deep, there's a fountain flowing wide and deep. Wide and deep, there's a fountain flowing wide and deep. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. And remember, every time you see a rainbow, think of God's love for you and show somebody else how much you love God today by obeying Him and being kind to others. We love you. See you next time.